I got I got too many buttons here. Good morning, Rich Roberts, Fireman Rich, here on uh, Twitch, and Fireman Rich over there on Rumble. Okay, I'm hearing myself. Okay, okay, we're off and running. Okay, we're good to go then. We're off and running, and good morning, Big Juice over on Twitch, and I want to say hello to all the seven viewers on the eyeball there on Rumble. We are broadcasting, simulcasting on Rumble and Twitch at the same time here. Rich Roberts, Fireman Rich on both platforms, and at Fireman Rich over there on X, and at Fireman Rich over on Truth Social, Blue Skies, Instagram threads where I posted the link to this broadcast, the Rumble link, and on the public Facebook, it's the real Fireman Rich, all one word. But good morning, uh, all. We got a good start here. I was playing around. The music sounded like it came in pretty decent this time over on the Rumble side, stuff like that. So we're gonna the intro and I got outro music. But this is our second episode, our second week of USFL football, and this is Let's Talk Football. That's USFL football, that is, and that's exactly what we're going to be talking about. Let's see. Okay, we got that. Okay, we got that going. How come this isn't going here? I don't know. Let's see. Broadcast should be going here. I gotta bring the broadcast up here on the phone so I can see you all. Let's see, let's go back here. Okay, we got that going. Okay, there we are. We're up and running now. Okay, there we are. We got you. We got the Rumble folks as far as that goes. So thank you, Rumble. We've got 10 viewers, and we have two viewers on Rumble, and we have two viewers over on Twitch. And I did forget one thing, but I'm not going to go into that. But we're off and running here, and it's April 6th, 2024. Current time is 07:37 a.m. here in the southern tier of upstate New York, where I live and reside. And we're in the second week of USFL football. And I am here to uh, go over the last week's as far as this week's picks, and we had pretty successful last week. I think the broadcast went pretty well. I watched all four games, and almost spilled my coffee. I ended up making all these notes, and I'm thinking, I can't go over this. This is too much. I had fun making these notes. I don't think I'm going to be that anal this week as far as for the games. We do have two games today, two games tomorrow, and let's see if I can bring this up. Well, last week, let's see. Hmm, how come that doesn't? Oh, I see what I got to do. Let me see if I. Let me. Let's see. We got the background. Go with that background, and then let me check. I'm just doing a few things because I'm using Prism Studios for the original. Oh, we don't want that. That's this is a studio, folks. As far as that goes, I'm trying to bring up. Let's see, where is that video capture? We unlock it. Oh, it's right there. There it is. Okay, so what the heck is that? Let's see. Let me try this again. Will this if I Browser YouTube TV. We don't want that. What am I trying to bring up here? I'm trying to bring up. Let's see. Let me go. Like O2 original does. Yeah, that brings us both. Okay, back into that. So. Okay. So what the heck? Oh, I know what I have to do. I know what I have to do. Okay, I got to bring this all the way back up here on top. Okay, hang on. Okay, there we go. That's what I wanted. It was buried underneath as far as that goes, and as such. So this is last week's. Um, this would be last week's results of the first week. We had the Stallions beating the Renegades 27-14, and the second game, Battlehawks beating the Michigan Panthers. That was a good game. That was a good game right there. That game right there, it pretty much the last 3 seconds of the game, it was won by a field goal. And then Sunday's games, the Defenders against Washington Defenders against the Brahmas. Brahmas, they had a good game there. They ended up winning that game significantly. The first game, Stallions and Renegades, that was pretty tight in the first half, but then the second half, the Stallions just took over as far as that goes, and the Defenders and Brahmas, they just pretty much controlled that game also. The last game, the Showboats and Roughnecks, it seemed like it was a close game, but really the Showboats had total control of that game for the most part. If they lost, they lost it themselves as far as that goes. So these are the scores that we have from last week's game, and as far as that goes, and let's see what we got here. Let's bring this up. And our today's games that we'll be looking at. So the first games are in the books. We'll go over the standings and all that, but those are the real quick what I've been talking about over there on Truth Social or X. No, back up. What I've been talking about this past week on the audio podcast, Fireman Rich audio podcast, as well as the Twitch broadcast of the real fire or the morning coffee there, as far as that goes. No sound, buddy. No sound. Yeah, I got some. Okay, I don't follow UFL football, Rich, but NFL football is my game. Okay, Juice. Big Juice. Can you hear me now, Big Juice? You should hear me now. Let's check. Yeah, I can hear myself. I didn't have the button the mic button pressed in the Prism Studio on the desktop here, so that's why you can hear me now, Big Juice. So apologize for that. Just a little coordination, and but those were the scores. Our current games for today, which start at 12. That's why I'm starting early. I was going to start at 9:30. Said no, let me start now. I'm up and up. I didn't sleep in like I did yesterday. So, but this is the games that we'll be looking at for this week 2 schedule. We got at 12 o'clock on ESPN down there in Memphis, Tennessee. You have the San Antonio Brahmas looking at the Showboats. Why don't we go ahead and make my picks now, because I can always go over it. Last week I went 1-4. I only won one game. I forget what game I won, but let's see. I actually already made my week 2 pick, so I'm picking San Antonio in that game, and then oh. Let's see, you're not seeing that. There we go. There. That's what we're looking at, folks, right there. Okay, I gotta press the buttons. This all comes down to pushing buttons. So San Antonio will be playing Memphis at 12 o'clock on ESPN down in Memphis, and we will have. I'm picking San Antonio. We have the Arlington team playing St. Louis in St. Louis. That should be a. This is the stadium right here, right behind me. This is where St. Louis is going to be playing. That's the team I'm rooting for this year. Full disclosure, as far as that goes, I want them to win it. That's the team I was riding last year when they were in the XFL. I believe they were XFL. Um, but there's two conferences, XFL and USFL, and they combine to make the USFL. So St. Louis, I'm picking St. Louis in that in week 2, and then tomorrow, let's see, the Arlington St. Louis game backing up. That's on ABC tonight at 8 o'clock. The Sunday, Big Juice, if you're still there, can you hear me loud and clear now? You should have the sound. I just backed up on the chat there. Tomorrow, Sunday, April 7th, we got the Birmingham playing Michigan. Both teams won last week. So that's the team. That's going to be whoever wins that team will be undefeated. Okay, you do? Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you, Big Juice. Yeah, I was just pushing the button. I got to push the right button. This game, whoever wins this game will be undefeated. Okay, because all the other teams, whoever wins will have a loss. But these are two teams that won both last week. The Birmingham team, they're a return champion. They won 2 years in the USFL. And then Michigan, they squeaked out a win last week on a 64-yard, I think it was 64-yard field goal. We'll talk about that. And then, but I'm picking Michigan. I'm not a Birmingham fan. I was a little when it was USFL. I didn't really care for all the games being played down there in Birmingham. So that game is going to be on tomorrow at 12 on ESPN, and that's going to be played up there in Detroit at Ford's Field in Detroit, Michigan. And then the last game, and Houston Roughnecks, they played the last game last week, and they were sorry. I gotta get full disclosure. I wasn't into this game when Arlington lost last week, or Houston lost. So I'm picking the DC Defenders to win on that game. So those are my picks, and that game will be on Fox at 4 o'clock. I'll probably be switching over to the baseball game as far as that goes. So those are our games as far as um, that goes. And but it was a lot of good football last week. I expected a lot of good football this week. I know was a Big Juice over there on Twitch. He says, I don't follow UFL football, Rich, but NFL football is my... Yes, I understand that. NFL that's the premier football game here in the North American. It's American football. But spring football, I love it. It's some good football, some good plays. There was some fantastic plays last week, some good plays. Is it the NFL? No. It's a notch above college, I would say. Okay, most people say college is better. This is just a league starting. Well, actually, a new league, the UFL, with 2 leagues that have been going on, or 2 conferences that were leagues unto themselves. So I guess I could bring this up too. Let's go ahead and bring up the standings after week 1. Yeah, I should have done this before. Let me get this set here. Okay, our overall standings in the league after week 1. I should have jumped this before we went to week schedule. So, is as follows. You got in the USFL conference, which is up top there. Let's see if I can get that. Yeah, the top one up here. This is the USFL conference. This is the XFL conference. You have 3 in first place. You have the Showboats, the Stallions. Well, I guess the Showboats could technically be undefeated if they win their game, right? Okay. So, yeah, okay. I'm just looking at my chart here, as far as that goes. a different way of presenting it here. And so the Showboats, they're in first. Stallions are in second. And I think the difference in that, they still have the same percentage, but what is that? Oh, the odds. It's the odds. I guess it makes them go into first place. Okay. Let's see. Do we have everybody there? Yeah. Okay. So there's the. No, it's not the odds. Yeah, stats. Not sure what that is. Oh, okay. Hang on. Hang on. I got it. I gotta move this. Move this just right. What it is the PA, whatever the PA is, or no, the that makes a difference. I'm not sure what makes a difference, but anyway, the Showboats, Stallions, and Panthers all have one win. The Roughnecks, I think they're going to get their second loss tomorrow, as far as that goes. And so those are the standings. This is the USFL conference. Now the XFL conference, there's only one team, and that's the Texan Brahmas. My Battlehawks, the St. Louis Battlehawks, along with the Renegades and the Defenders, all have a loss. So that's how they set up. So it'll be shuffling around a little bit more as far as that goes come next week on the um, gameplay after today. So, but I'm enjoying it. I'm totally enjoying the games as far as that goes, and it's like I said, there's a lot of good play on the gridiron as far as that goes, and we'll see what today and tomorrow transpires for the second week. So right away, the USFL is a success because they've got their first week under their belt and they're doing really good. Now, one of the things after last week's games, I was going to try and bring this up to bring it over here, and it won't. So I'm going to just have to talk this as far as that goes. I don't have any stats on the overall. Well, I got the stats of the top players here as far as, and also the top teams as far as on the various total offense, passing, rushing, and total yards. So after the first week, it looks like the Birmingham Stallions are first in overall total offense after the Michigan, and then the Michigan Panthers, San Antonio Brahmas, and then Arlington Renegades, St. Louis Battlehawks, DC Defenders, Memphis Showboats, and then Houston Roughnecks. Like I said, they just played very sorry last week. They had a total of 174 yards offense. The Birmingham Stallions, by comparison, they had a total of 397 yards offense. Okay, so and then everybody else is mixed in between. St. Louis, they had 261. So it seemed like everybody had 200 plus except the Roughnecks. Rushing yards, it seemed like the Birmingham Stallions and Michigan Panthers, and they played this way. They played very strong. They both had 171, or one Stallions had 171 yards rushing, and then Michigan had 112, which is they're the only two teams that broke 100 on the rushing. The yards passing, Birmingham Stallions, they had 226 yards passing, and then Michigan had 168. But you look at the Arlington Renegades, they had 200. So and then but the Birmingham's defense, just by comparisons, they were number one. Birmingham defense, as far as that goes. Let's see, where is it? Defense. The defense is where's Birmingham? Birmingham was down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They were 6. So their offense really carried them. Michigan, they were up in third on their total defense. They had a total of 60 sacks. Baramas had 61 sacks. Total tackles, I should say, total tackles. And Arlington Renegades had 66 tackles. So they were all in the 60s. So on the defense there, just to go on the defense. But back on the offense, it looked like Burlington, they're number one as far as that goes in passing. They had a 51. In passing, they were number one. Arlington was number two. Decent defenders were number three. St. Louis Battlehawks were number four. I'm just going to say that the top three in these categories here. For rushing, Birmingham was number one. Michigan Panthers were number two, and San Antonio Brahmas were number three. For first downs, Birmingham was right up there at top. Memphis Stallion, Showboats, and the DC Defenders. My St. Louis Battlehawks, they were number four. Conversions. This is going for third down conversions. You had Birmingham Stallions, Memphis Showboats, Arlington Renegades, and oddly enough, the Houston Roughnecks. They were able to sneak in there. Penalty-wise, the Houston Roughnecks were the most penalized team last week, as far as that goes, for the first week. So they were number one, then San Antonio Brahmas, then DC Defenders, Memphis Showboats, Birmingham Stallions were right there at 5. Arlington, the lower on this category, the better. Arlington Renegades, Michigan Panthers, and St. Louis Blues, they were the least penalized. They only had a total of 30 yards compared to 89 from the Roughnecks. Scoring-wise, again, the Birmingham Stallions on this offense, they were just monsters. 33 points. Next one was 27 for San Antonio, Michigan, with 20 points, 18. San Antonio had 4 touchdowns, but Birmingham had 3, but they probably had, they had the one extra field goal. Okay. So that was the offense. On the defense side, we had again the Arlington Renegades. They were had the best defense. Then San Antonio, Michigan Panthers. So Michigan was up there both for offense and defense. Now I've seen them play when they were in the previous league they were in. I'm not sure if that was NFL or USFL. Let's see, what division are they in? Let me check this real quick. Yeah, the Panthers, they were in the USFL. They didn't play all that great. They weren't all that great of a player. But on the defense, and then special teams. Special teams came into play, especially for one team, and that was the Michigan Panthers. But they were number 6 on the special teams. Memphis Showboats were number 1 on the for U.S. field goal stats. They had 3 field goals attempts, 2 made. 66, a percentage of 66. Arlington they had 2 and made 2. DC Defenders, they had 4 field goal attempts and made 4. And then Houston Roughnecks, they made 2 of 2. Michigan made 1 of 1, and that 1 of 1 won them the game as far as that goes. We'll go a little more into that here in a bit. And let's see, San Antonio Brahmas, they made 1 attempt and they didn't make it as far as that goes. Punting, yeah, St. Louis Battlehawks, they were number 1 with their longest one being 51. But Arlington had one for 62. So what are they basing this off? On the average. Okay, the average was 42 yards compared to, well, this one says 51. I don't understand that. Maybe because they punted more, number of punts. So punt returns, the punt returns, you had the DC Defenders, they were number 1. They're number 1 for after the first week with a 35 yard. No TDs on punt returns. And then kick returns, No touchdowns on kick returns. Turnovers. Let's see. What's this one talking about? Let's see. Let me go to this other browser here for the turnovers. Let me check this out. For turnovers, oh, number one was the um, for turnovers. St. Louis Battlehawks were number one. Then the Showboats were number two. Renegades were number three. Stallions were number four. DC Defenders were number five. San Antonio was number six. Houston Roughnecks were number seven, oddly enough, and the Michigan Panthers, they had the least. They had a couple turnovers only. So that there's the offensive stats as far as that goes. On the let's see, on our player side, for passing, and these are the quarterbacks. The number one quarterback beginning of last week was Matt Corral from the Birmingham Stallions, which he did okay. But number one as far as the total attempts, completions, percentages, and all that, and yards. I guess it's basing on yards. Jordan Ta'amu for the DC Defenders. He was number one with a 227 yards total for averaging, well, one game he's averaging 227 for the first game, so he had the most. And then AJ McCarron, he was number two with 216. And oddly enough, passing yardage for the Birmingham Stallions, they won. They only had 26 yards passing there from Adrian Martinez. So those are the top two and the worst. Matt Corral, who's a or no, that's Birmingham's. Oh, that's the oh, wait a minute, they had two quarterbacks in. Matty Corral from Birmingham, he was number five. Okay, they had two quarterbacks in, so same thing as San Antonio. They had 8 and 9, and that was passing. On the rushing, it was Wells Hills who for the Michigan Panthers that did really well as far as that goes, and for to lead the rushing bet. And let's see, we got that there. Let's see, do I have that one? Let's see, this is player stats. See, that's not showing up that great. How come? It doesn't make sense. It's a little off whack. Okay, I'll have to remember that. Okay, so I'm going to have to go. Let me do a little switcheroony here as far as that goes. Let's see. Good morning. Oh, Tina, good morning. I'm just noticing that. I'm sorry. I'm focusing in on stats here. Good morning, Tina, over on Twitch. Good morning. I just got up. Big Juice 757 saying good morning. Tina coming in from New Jersey. We're going over the preliminaries for the USFL football week 2 here. I'm just going over last week's stats. I'm seeing the browser on my Surface 3 isn't showing me the whole total line, so I got to go over here to this. Okay, so on the pass or rushing for last week, Wells Hills was number one for the Michigan Panthers, and CJ Marbell was number two. Let's see, Hills had 85, Marble had 67 yards rushing total. Average yards. Okay, and then Adrian Martinez from Birmingham, he's the quarterback. He had 52 yards rushing, so he was number 3 for the rushing overall, as far as that goes. In receiving, you had number 1 was Ty Scott for the DC Defenders. Dion, that was for 87 yards. Then you had Dion Kane, Birmingham Stallions. Again, the Stallions are up here in the offensive side with 66 yards, and San Antonio Baramas with Jantra Kirkin, 70 or 61 yards, and then Arlington Renegades with Isaiah Winstead. He's a good running back, 60 yards, and number 5 Marcel Antoman of the St. Louis Blues had 60 yards. So so I'm getting familiar with the players a little bit here. Overall defense after last week, Michigan Panthers. Who's this guy? Michigan, the number 1 defensive player, Kea Nach, Nacua. He had 11 tackles last week, so that was number 1. Next one was Marquella Lee of the Arlington Renegades. He had 9 tackles. Jordan Mosley of the San Antonio Brahmas, he had 9 tackles, and then Jordan Williams of the San Antonio Brahmas had 9 tackles. So they've got a couple guys on the Brahmas San Antonio team that can get it done. Then the next 3 are defenders, the DC defenders: Mark Malik Fisher, Isaiah Johnson, and Michael Johnson. They all had 7 tackles each. And then the Houston Roughnecks had Reuben Foster, who had 7 tackles, but they ended up losing. Michigan Panthers come in with, was it Daniel Weiss with 7. And then special teams, the field goal attempts. You had 4 attempts made by Matt McHenry, DC Defenders, and he made all 4, 100%. Arlington Renegades, they went 2 for 2 with Taylor Roslino. His longest, let's see, the first one had 50 yards, the second was 45, and then the Houston Roughnecks, they went 2 for 2 with J.J. Moslin with a 55-yarder being the longest one. And then Matt Cotlin of Memphis Showboats, he had a 51. He had 2. He went 2 for 3. He made 2 out of 3. The longest one was 51%. He comes in at 66%. Top 3 were all 100%. And then Chris Bletwit, he made 50%. 1 for 2. Longest 27. Jake Bates. Before I go him, number 7 was 1 for 1. 36 yard for St. Louis Battlehawks. But for Michigan, this was the kick of the season. Basically, there was 2 good plays. I guess overall plays. This came in at number 2, but I would say it's number 1. They had they have 5 seconds left on the clock, and you have this kid Jake Bates who never kicked a field goal since high school. All through his collegiate time, he was a punter, and he never made a field goal. This was his first field goal attempt in the pros, and he kicked a 64-yarder to win the game. He was iced the first time. He made the first kick, but they took a timeout. He was iced. Then they set up the drama. Is he going to make it? He's going to make it. He split the upright. Michigan wins the game, and that has to be probably one of the top 3 plays of the day. As far as there was a couple good catches right on the line and I'm really liking the replay because it's real time. You're right there in the booth with the guy who's making the decision, and you can hear everything going on. So it's a little more in depth than, say, the NFL's you don't see them actually going through the tape where the guy's saying stop here, go back here. It's very, very riveting as far as that goes, and such. So there we have it as far as the overall stats there. Let's see the teams. Again, in the USFL conference, you have Burlington Stallions, the Houston Roughnecks, Memphis Showboats, and Michigan Panthers. XFL is Arlington Renegades, DC Defenders, San Antonio Brahmas, and the St. Louis Battlehawks. Let me see, what's this say for each individual team? I wish I could present on this. I can't present though. I got to work that out. I got to work out how to present to where I can bring it over here, um, as far as to present things, because it just I'm using this Prism. What is it? This Prism Live Studio with Prism lens. I like it. It's got some very nice backgrounds, as you can see right here. The St. Louis Stadium, excuse me, the St. Louis Stadium, and I'm having fun playing around with it here as far as that goes. Let's see, what else do I have? Let's see what we have on the news here as far as that goes. USFL news. USFL, 5 things to watch for in week 2. Let's see. Um, Birmingham Stallions head coach Skip Holtz knows a thing or two about offense after the departure of last year's start and USFL most valuable player Alex Mago for the NFL to the Green Bay Packers. Holtz has turned to 2 quarterbacks who are already making a huge impact: Matt Corral and Andrea Martinez, and they got a good combination there. Um, those two helped the Stallions score 27 points in a season opener over the Arlington Renegades in Week 1. Corral finished with 201 passing yards and a touchdown pass, while Martinez ran for 52 yards um, before leaving the game and at the end with a foot injury. Holt said he will continue using both quarterbacks when the Stallions hit the road for the second straight week facing Michigan Panthers. Tina says over here, Rich, I stopped to say hi. Saturday is my Zoom with meeting. Okay, no problem, Tina. Thank you for stopping and appreciate it. Watch some USFL football if you can, okay? The game starts at 12, and then the next game is at 4. Thank you. Yeah, I'll see you Monday. I'll be on Monday. Hopefully not late. Thank you, Tina. Tina's one of my regular viewers on Twitch there for the morning coffee on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So we appreciate you being here. Holt said he will continue to use both quarterbacks when the Stallions hit the road, which makes sense if you can do that. That's not the norm. And so they have an interesting mix there. And it seems like their first string quarterback, Corral, doesn't mind it. Those two will continue playing every game because they both deserve it, Holt says after the win. They're both winning quarterbacks, and they both create a different level of our offense right now. We're going to need them both. Um, so that's it with their let's see what else with Showboats host Baramas, an early season battle between 2 top quarterbacks. So two of the top quarterbacks for week 1 faced off against one another when the Showboats hosts after week 1, but this is Showboats and the Baramas, San Antonio. San Antonio's Chase Gabers completed 76% of his passes and accounts for 3 total touchdowns, 2 passes, and 1 rushing in his team's 27-12 victory over the DC Defenders. Meanwhile, Memphis Cookus finished with 201 passes, yards, and touchdowns in the 18-12 victory over the Roughnecks. The difference between that, San Antonio has a better defense than the Roughnecks. Okay, Arlington just wasn't getting it done. Okay, so that game was Memphis's is to lose, as far as in my opinion. Okay, I watched the whole game. It got really boring where I'd stop making notes. Baramas head coach Wade Phillips, and you should know Wade Phillips. He used to be a Dallas Cowboy coach years back. Said offense coordinator. Okay, thanks. Okay, Tina. Said offense coordinator AJ Smith installed the air raid offense that late Mike that the late Mike Leach, an offensive guru, made famous, which pairs well with Phillips's 3-4 defense scheme. San Antonio finished 3-7 last year in the XFL, but is the only undefeated team in the XFL conference after 1 week. The Brahmas will try to keep it that way against the Showboats. And let's see, St. Louis. Let's go over the St. Louis team. St. Louis is ready to bring the noise. The Battlehawks will host their first home game in the USFL season when the Renegades come, and I think they should mow over the Renegades this weekend. The former home of the Rams, St. Louis led the XFL attendance last year with 35,000 fans. This place back here was rocking. Okay, this is the stadium, and you can see that's one of their you can see the people in the stands. They fill the stands in St. Louis. Offensively, it's an advantage for us clearly. The coach told the reporters the crowd is going to be more apt to be louder than when the defense is on the field. So we have a thrive off the mountain of the crowd with big plays, big runs, big offensive drives. So the crowd, they've got a seventh player with this crowd in the background there. So let's see. Talking about Michigan and Jake Bates, USFL kicker, demonstrates accuracy. The Michigan kicker put his name on the map by drilling a 64-yarder last week, winning the field. It was a winning field goal in Michigan's tilt versus the St. Louis Battlehawks last week. But overall, kicking performed well, finishing 13 of 15 in week 1 with a 50-plus yards. So there was some good field goals last week. They can make a difference. So again, the Brahmas and Showboats will be today at 12. I'm picking San Antonio in that game. The second game at 8 p.m. on first game's on ESPN. Second game, 8 p.m. on ABC. The Renegades against the Battlehawks in St. Louis. Right there, folks. It's going to be a rocking Saturday evening of football in St. Louis. I'm picking the San Antonio or the St. Louis Battlehawks in that one. And then tomorrow's games, Michigan is at home hosting the Stallions, and that's the Stallions. By all the stats, the Stallions should win that game. But I'm hoping for an upset. That will be an upset if they're, my first prediction of an upset tomorrow at 12 p.m. on ESPN. Michigan Panthers against the Birmingham Stallions. And then the last game, like I said, I don't know. I'm not keeping. Maybe the Roughnecks might do something. one can only hope as far as that goes. So just to go over. As far as that goes. So there's that article. USFL MVP power ranking, Stallions quarterback Matt Corral on top after week 1. So as far as in the hunt for the you have Matt Corral, who has some good from Birmingham Stallions. And then you got Chase Gabriel for number 2. Case Cookus from the Memphis Showboats, and then Jordan Mew from the DC Defenders, number 4. AJ McCarron of the Battlehawks would be number. Those are your top 5 for the right now. Just week 1, but a lot can happen. There's we got 9 more today and 8 more weeks of football. So week 1 by the numbers. Let's see. With week 1 of the USFL is in the books there, and there was no shortage of must-see moments. The Birmingham Stallions, Michigan Panthers, San Antonio Brahmas, Memphis Showboats came out with wins, while the Arlington Renegades, St. Louis Battlehawk, and DC Defenders and Houston Roughnecks came up short. The week actions was highlighted by the Panthers, and this was the big one. The Panthers kicker Jake Bates, record-breaking, and that I think that even surpasses, they were saying, the NFL, 64 yards. So So here are the numbers to know after week one. 0. The number of field goals Bates had attempted since high school before nailing a 64-yarder, winning with 3 seconds. Oh, okay, there was 3 seconds left on last Saturday's games against the Battlehawks. The number 4. The number of goals Bates scored in 2 years as a soccer player at Central Arkansas before transferring turning to football to become a kicker specialist. Could we be seeing another Brandon uh, Arbor? Sarah? I don't know that person. Number 24. The number 24, the number of points scored in the fourth quarter by the Battlehawk Panthers game, which was capped off by the Bates's dramatic field goal. So you can see the numbers are going towards this guy Bates. The number of 11, Michigan Kyle Naku, the older brother of Los Angeles Rams star wide out Puka Naku, led the league in tackles in week one with 11, including a sack on the Panthers' dramatic win. Let's see, how far does this list go? Okay. 2-0. Former USFL teams early edge against former XFL teams with wins by Stallions and Panthers. So the XFL beat out the USFL in the first week, and as far as the overall between the two conferences. 22-3. Birmingham's score record in spring football over the past 3 years in USFL and now the USFL. The last professional team to run 22 points in a 25-game stretch was Kansas City. So this is Birmingham's is the Kansas City Chiefs of the USFL, but it was the Kansas City Chiefs in 2019-2021 season. There are 4 teams in college football that have won 22 of the past 25 games: Georgia 24-1, Michigan 24-1, Washington 22-3, and Troy 22-3. Okay, the number 40, Bahamas punter Brad Wing's trick play resulted in a 40-yard touchdown. This was a good one too. The Bahamas were setting up for a punt, and they ended up the punter passed to a guy that was downfield. He didn't think he wasn't part of the play, but he was open, and they gave it to him for a 40-yard touchdown to was it center? Oh, this was the center, but he was eligible. Alex Molete, and they're upset over the defenders. The number 51, Renegades wide receiver Isaiah Winstead, 51-yard score in the second quarter of their opening game was the longest play of week one. And then the number 183, the number of yards the Stallions rushed for the opening win, including 77 yards on the ground from their quarterback Matt Corral and Andrea Martinez, as far as that goes. So those are the game. That's last week by the numbers as far as that goes. Let's see. What else do we got? Oh, we're coming up on an hour, so we got enough to fill an hour here. So we do not have a guest this week. We did have Tony D last week. He's the host of the NFL weekly broadcast on Twitch. That's the Belt Kings fantasy football team broadcast that I was up on it as a guest. He graciously had me up every week, and I guess I contributed something to. So this one right here, this is just for the USFL. It's you could say it's a spinoff. I did have a football broadcast last 2 years ago, I guess. I would make my announcement of my predictions. This is a little bit more in depth as far as going over the overall league as far as that goes. Let's see, what else do we have in news? And let's see, load more. We talked about Jake Bates. I do have to mention, when you are watching the football games, on the back of the helmet, you'll see a number or initials, and let me see. I'm just finding. They'll have a BT, I believe it is, for NCAA coach Buddy Stevens. The USFL football league will honor the unparalleled contributions to the. And I read this last week, but this individual he has passed, but they're honoring him this season with that little the BT initials on the every player's helmet. And will honor the unparalleled contributions to the sport of football of longtime NCAA coach Buddy Stevens um, at this Saturday kickoff. Tevis, who passed away last September, is widely renowned and respected for his innovative coaching style and focusing on players' safety and well-being. Buddy's dedication to mentorship and guidance not only shaped the athletes that were fortunate enough to play for him, but instilled in them inevitable qualities that extend beyond the field, said Russ Brandon, president and CEO of the USFL. He was not just a coach, he was a true architect of character, molding individuals, integrity, resilience, and excellence. So that's a good coach. In recognition, Coach Teven's exceptional contributions to the game of football, the USFL will name its Coach of the Year award in his honor. This gesture serves to celebrate the honor his and honor his remarkable coaching career. And he's considered to be on to honor Coach Timmons' legacy. That all USFL players will proudly wear helmet sticker adorning his initials during the 2024. So you'll when you see the initials on the back and a round little dot that says BT, that's for Buddy Stevens, okay, to honor him. And that's a real honor to have that. Um, that's that's a good coach, very good coach, outstanding coach, I could say. You could say. Let's see. Do we have anything else? Let me just check the overall major news for the USFL before we depart here. Let's see. News, anything of interest in the news? Let's see. Let's see what this one says here. Winners and losers of the USFL get bragging rights. Let's see. The opening weekend of the new UFL. The results are a merge between competing spring pro football league, the USFL and XFL, featured a couple of eye-popping moments from its four games, and there was at least a handful of eye-popping moments, and I guess for me the one was the Jake Bates field goal. Um, let's see. Yet, did the timing of the league's first week of play hinder its chance of building any momentum for its 10-week? I don't know. Three former USFL teams, the Birmingham Stallions, Michigan Panthers, and Memphis Showboats, emerged victorious. So the USFL actually beat out the XFL conference. The San Antonio Brahmas salvaged the weekend for the XFL, which would not go winless during week one. The leagues features some rules unfamiliar to there are some different rules, okay, and they explain that during the game, which is pretty good. Unfamiliar to fans of the NFL. They're not that unfamiliar. There's certain rules that they're playing. I think they work quite well. And college football, there are 1, 2, and 3 point conversions. There's no field goal attempt for the 1 point. You have to run it in. And for the most part, what I saw, they usually go for a 2 point. The league also includes a lot of familiar facers. Let's see, some of the winners It's wasn't exactly the world view altering results like the famous Cleveland Browns win over the Philadelphia Eagles to kick off the 1950 NFL season when defending AAFC champions routed the defending NFL. And that's the last two. You had two conferences merging into it, two leagues merging into it. But that's back in 1950. But in 2023, USFL champion Birmingham Stallions toppled the 2023 XFL champion Arlington Renegades 27-14 in the UFL opener. The win gave the USFL bragging rights, of course, and of course Jake Bates was a kickoff specialist in college, but was called on by the Michigan Panthers when the team needed a game-winning field goal in their opening against the St. Louis Battlehawks. Bates, 64-yard, like I said, it was no problem. Final seconds, and that was exciting. As far as that goes, I wish I could present the video. I'm gonna have to work on that this week. Um, the losers, as part of the merge agreement, the USFL, the XFL's revolutionary kickoff formula for more traditional. Okay, they used to have a certain way of kicking off in the XFL, but they're not doing that. But they have a more traditional one. They had the kicker kickoff from the 20-yard line. The NFL, of course, just adopted a version of the XFL kickoff rule, which will have kickers kick off from their own 35-yard and the rest of the coverage team lining up from the opposing team at the 40-yard line instead of running the length of the field. I'm not sure if I'm too hip on that. That made the USFL decisions even more curious in hindsight. While the XFL were pioneers in the kickoff procedure, the USFL seemingly has gone backwards in terms of kickoff innovation and in not adopting. So there's two different versions, I guess. The NFL next year, they just made this decision that their kickoff is going to be similar to what the XFL used to do. And now that the XFL and USFL are in one league now, the UFL, they're doing it completely different. They still have like you run down the field. So there's that one. Let's see. Do we have any more else? No, I think that's about it. That is about it. So just going over my picks, I'm picking. I will be picking. Let's see. Let me bring up my list again here. Oh, okay. Here we go. I'm going to be picking San Antonio over the Memphis Showboats. Again, the game starts today at 12. That's in about less than 4 hours here on ESPN. And then the second game, Arlington and the St. Louis. I'm going to be picking St. Louis. That's at 8 o'clock. And then tomorrow I will be picking Michigan over Birmingham and then DC over Houston. The Birmingham Michigan game will be on ESPN at 12, and then the Houston DC game will be on Fox at 4. So that's how the lineup goes. And with that, let's see, we're down. We were at 10. We're down to 4 over on the Rumble side. But thank you for the views over on Rumble, and here on Twitch, we have one viewer. As far as that goes, thank you to that one viewer. It's greatly appreciated. What did I just do? Oh, I need to go back. Go back to channel. So this worked out quite well. A little bit more information reviewing last week. We'll see what happens this week. I gave my predictions, and I think all in all, it'll be the season has started. It's going to continue, and I am enjoying it as far as that goes. So with that, we're going to go ahead and exit stage left here. as far as that goes. And let's see what we got here. We got to go. Yeah, we'll go with that. And we're going to go ahead and end it here. And you all have a great one wherever you may be on this big blue marble. Let's see, does that work? Let's see if I go to that. No, I don't want to do that. I'm playing around with my thing here. Let's see, we'll go that. No, we don't want to do that. We have to keep it there, don't we? Let's see, how do I work this? Let me see. I gotta play. Let me see. Let me see. Let me just try something here. We go to original. How come that doesn't work? That doesn't work. That's the window capture. That's that. Oh, there we go. Okay, there we go. All right, folks, have a good one. Rich Roberts, Fireman Rich, wishing you all well. And how come that didn't work? Let's see. Let's go ahead and. What am I looking at here? I'm pushing all the buttons here. There we go. This is interesting. This is fun. Okay. And that's all she wrote. So I want to say thank you. Let's see. I think if I go like that, no, we don't want that. Yeah, I can do that. But we are all finished here. Eh, having fun. Oh my God. All right, Rich Roberts, Fireman Rich here on Let's Talk Football, the USFL football that is. You all have a great one wherever you may be on this big blue marble. You can follow me over there on. Let's back up for a minute. I want to try. I got to look at something here. We have to look at something. We got to see how this works. We're not going to know how it works unless we. So that's that. That's the prism. So how do I go to the camera to just video? That's that. That's not showing up. Okay. So I have to bring a major. I got to bring this all the way to the top. Let me see something here. Okay, that's what I want. Okay, I guess I'm getting the hang of this. Nope, I don't want that. We're just playing here for a few moments, folks. Let me see. And then if I shut off video camera. Oh, that's how you do it. Okay, I got to shut off the video. Okay, that will work. Okay, folks. I have it set up as far as that goes. So we'll be back next Saturday. Like I said, this is going to be a regular Saturday thing here where I simulcast on both Rumble and Twitch. And we're doing pretty good as far as that goes. And I want to say thank you to those folks that did pop in on the Twitch side. And for the folks that are sitting back and watching over on Rumble, thank you very much. I appreciate that as well. But we're going to get our day started here. And let's see. He's got one more thing. Let's see. That's going to be okay. That's going to be 3 minutes as far as that goes. So, and I got to get some more coffee as far as that goes too. Um, just so no, I wouldn't mind having Tony D back up here if he has any input on USFL. He has an open invitation. Just to, if you're watching this, Tony, on the replay, you do have an open invitation. as far as that goes. And I would extend that also to my good friend Ted Hicks. He's another person that was a guest on Tony D's Belt Kings Fantasy Football, and to talk about USFL football. I'm not going to go into detail and talking about NFL. I know that everybody's talking about the the oh, the upcoming draft. That's supposed to be a big deal. Okay, yeah, it's a big deal, but I'm not really buying it. Well, you got to buy it. It's you got some good players that are going to be coming up, and but I want to this whole um, purpose of this broadcast is strictly for the USFL, the United uh, Football League, and I'm enjoying it. I enjoyed, like I said, I had three. I didn't even go over these notes, but these are the notes. Each page is a game, and I meticulously followed the. But we, for the most part, we went over it, stuff like that. I guess I just had fun doing that. I won't be doing that this weekend because I can see where the stats are right now, unless there's something very significant. Thing I got to work on for this broadcast is being able to bring up some video as far as that goes, and I haven't figured that out here on this Prism Live studio, which my good friend Walt Hollick from a few years back, um, brother firefighter there, got me hooked into using and stuff like that. I think it's a pretty good platform. It gives me some very neat backgrounds that I can utilize, and as far as that goes, so I really enjoy that. All right, folks, this is Rich Roberts, Fireman Rich, here on Twitch as well as over there on Rumble, at Fireman Rich over on X, and at Fireman Rich over on Truth Social, Instagram Threads, and Blue Skies. Public Facebook, The Real Fireman Rich. So you all have a great one. Live life, have fun. Ciao for now. As always, peace. Take care, folks.